Hey guys, what's going on? Watomarmelon here today on my second channel. Again, make sure to subscribe to my main channel, check out the collection video that I recently uploaded, and here we go. Also, make sure to subscribe to this one if you enjoy market discussions, and I'm going to be talking about sort of my best picks for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So you're going to want to stick around for those videos in the near future. But today we're going to start off with the Dark Magician Starlight Rare. This is one that I could see appreciating over time. It has Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician on the artwork, and they're very visible. Starlight Rares are incredibly difficult to pull, so, there's probably a pretty limited quantity of these. One thing to note, though, is that this has been on a steep downward trajectory in recent months, and right now you can find a near mint for around 225 up to around 230. So not the most expensive card right now, but still, commanding a pretty reasonable price for Starlight Rare. Next up, we have Meister Collector Rare. This is one of the collector rares that I think has incredible foiling, very playable card. You'll notice that there haven't been a ton of sales recently, and you can find them for around 80 bucks, which isn't too bad, although you see that one sale at around 70, probably a pretty motivated seller trying to get rid of it. Next up, we have Trishula Starlight Rare out of Blazing Vortex. So if you look at this card, you can find them for around 230 up to 235. There have been a couple of recent sales, which is quite interesting. You'll notice that they were significantly lower. The 210 and then 190 were both lower than the current near mint first editions. But there have been a reasonable amount of sales recently, so I wonder why that is. I know it was peeled off the ban list, although this card has the original DT Ultra and also the Ultimate Rare. So there's a lot competing with this version of Trishula. This Starlight Rare has a lot of high rarities that it needs to beat out, but it still is a pretty beautiful card, and I think that synchros look incredible in Starlight Rare. Alright, next up we have Venomonaga Collector's Rare. This is, again, one of the most beautiful collector rares, along with Skullmeister. I think these two might be the best looking collector rares out of Ancient Guardians, and I think the Ancient Guardians had the best looking collector rares out of any set. The foiling on this thing is incredible. If you haven't seen it, I actually have a video on my main channel of my collector rare collection, my updated one as well, and you can see the foiling of this card there. It looks really, really nice. So you can get these for around $22, $23. Really not that bad, albeit, this card is not playable in any capacity, and its original print secret, while it is, out of Tactical Evolution and very difficult to get, I don't think there are a ton of people going after the collector rare, even though it is beautifully foiled. Next up, we have Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. Legendary Duelist Season 3 is around the corner, and so I wanted to pick out, the best performing card from Legendary Duelist Season 2. This card used to not be worth a whole lot. If we look at the yearly trajectory, you can see that this card, even before this, I believe it was around like $15, $10. Really not that expensive a card for Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, and it has, spiked significantly up to in the 40s. Now it's back down a little bit. You can find them for around 32, 33 in light play, and then for near mint, you're at 36 and up. But it might be interesting to see which of the secret rare promos have some collectability and some playability, because it seems that those tend to perform best of the Legendary Duelists seasons. So if you find something like Magician's Souls, I doubt they're going to secret rare that, but there might be like a pretty collectible card that gets a secret rare promo printing, and that might be a nice pickup. This one has appreciated very significantly. Next up, we have Alistar, the Invoker of Madness out of Genesis Impact. This is now the least expensive collector rare out of Genesis Impact. You can see the trajectory of these collector rares. They were just all the way down. They have not performed well, and you can pick these up. You're seeing people buy them for $15 in near mint first edition. It's beautifully foiled. It looks quite nice, but you can find Cat Draconid's card at 15 and then on up. Next up, we have Rage of Ra, Winged Dragon of Ra, Ghost. This one, you can see some sales at around 202. There was this one anomalous sale at 286. I wonder why that happened. Um, but you can see some other stuff around 200. On up. Next up, we have the Starlight Rare out of Rise of the Duelist. On up to 170. Not too expensive. I'm surprised that it's this expensive, um, given what it is. It's a collectible Starlight Rare, which is not incredibly hard to pull. Um, Although Rise of the Duelist is a set that there isn't a whole lot of it sealed, so that's something to note. Next up, we're just looking at Legendary Duelist Season 1. Something to notice is these art tokens. There's the My Valentine and then some other ones, Zane Truesdale, etc. Very low in listings. It's notable because of how low the listings are. Only 6 for the Zane Truesdale one. And you can see the trajectory. Over time, it's gone up quite significantly. And then you can see these other tokens of pretty, iconic characters and Joey Wheeler and Jesse Anderson. Pretty reasonably low prices for those ones, only 70 cents and 50 cents. But you notice that some of these other characters, have been bought out, and there really aren't a lot on the market right now. Moving on to some cards out of World Superstars, you have Legendary Dragon White. This card really has taken a hit. One of the most significant drops. I mean, this thing was, over 100 for a while. Now this is hovering around. You can see a near mint bought for 35. If we look, we can find some Italian near mints at around 31. And then if we search for a near mint first ed English, we're seeing them at around 35. I mean, this card is not expensive at all anymore. It has dropped significantly. Although, when it dips this hard, it might be a card to pick up. And then looking at its counterpart, Legendary Magician White, or excuse me, Dark, you can see that it also has, plummeted in sales. Just complete free fall from where it once was. You can see that it's available at 35, pretty similar pricing to the Legendary Dragon of White. These are both prize cards in the OCG. Imports and World Superstars, not super hard to get, but beautiful cards nonetheless. Next up, we have Leviathan Dragon Ghost. You can see that near mints are only 40. Little, that's pretty surprising, although I think Ghost from the Past 2 has really shaken up the market where people are not willing to pay a whole lot of money for Ghosts anymore because of just how, there's a pretty significant trade-off where these ghost rares are, even though they're modern reprints, are close substitutes to these old ghost rares. And why would you pay $100 for a Leviathan Dragon when you can get like a Leviathan Dragon on limb when you can get a Cyber Dragon first ed, albeit first ed doesn't mean a whole lot for these modern sets. Are you really going to pay for a Leviathan Dragon over Cyber Dragon Ghost Rare? I don't know. You can spend a little bit more and get a Blue Eyes White Dragon SDK art. So, is that worth it? I don't know. I think that Ghosts from the Past 2, as I've said time and time again, they put so many ghosts at once, and because they're so frequent, the prices on these things have just plummeted for a lot of these other ghost rares that are less desirable. You can see $75 is the lowest near mint first. Another set that I want to look at were the Norse gods. I actually saw the Norsemen over the weekend with my girlfriend. It was pretty interesting movie. A lot of screaming. Not that bad, but interesting movie. You can see that these Norse gods, there was a couple of sales recently, last week and the week before that. Near mint first ed at around 30. Let's see what near mints are going for in both unlim and first. See unlims at around 15. And if we try to hunt down some firsts, we see that first eds are coming around 29. So that's low key. Next up is Thor. We can see that there were some similar time pattern of the sales. See that for Thor there was one at 40, a couple at 40 for the first eds, and then a little over 20 on the unlims. Let's see where they're at right now. So you can find the unlims are around 20, and then first eds are up around 40 still. I wonder where the price trajectory of these will go. Pretty awesome cards, and I think they're reasonably collectible, just based on the fact that there are three of them. So it's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more of a chase to actually get all of them. And one of them is the cover card of the set. So I would expect that these things might have some sort of following. 18 on the Unlim Odins. If we go up and try to find a first edition, we can see that you can get them around 40, so pretty similar to the Thors. And then for our last two cards, we have Garlandolf, Ulti. Near mint first eds are 56 and up. Pretty expensive card, but I think this is one of the most beautiful Ulti foilings. And then the final one is Treeborn Frog. This card is just, it blows my mind how expensive this thing is, although I understand that it's pretty playable. So the first edition near mints, there are only 3 on the market right now, going for around 250, which is pretty insane. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good day. It's been your boy Watomarmelon, and peace out.